Hello, everybody. My name is Trojan Jake, and yeah, I have a little announcement. One, as you can see, I actually have a little avatar now. The namesake of my channel is finally being used. Um, I'm honestly proud with how this one came out. It puts a smile on my face just seeing the guy himself, actually talking and not just being a profile picture. Like, now he's actually taking part in my channel, and I'm really happy about it. Another thing is that I'm gonna try doing just gaming in general and not just stick to Yu-Gi-Oh, but Yu-Gi-Oh is still gonna be a massive part of this channel. I mean, it's one of my favorite games of all time. I'm definitely not gonna like move away from Yu-Gi-Oh content entirely because it's one of my favorite games. I've been playing since late 2014, so yeah, I ain't stopping the Yu-Gi-Oh content entirely. I'm just gonna have some other things. Been thinking of playing Choo Choo Charles. That game came out. I've been really excited. I've been watching the devlogs, and I really want to play it. It looks so much fun. I mean, it's a train game. Come on, you can't go wrong with a train game. Also, I kind of want to show another Earth Machine deck list. I'm not going to go in detail because I'm trying to build it in real life, although I'm having trouble because, some of the cards are pricey because, they're short printed or really high rarity and are in high demand. Fun. I just want to play my machine deck, man. So here's my list. Yeah, I'm on the Gearframe variant now. This variant is fun. I am honestly shocked that people only talked about the Ruin Force. No one really spoke about the higher ceiling combos where you can consistently get Citadel Engrave, Regulus on board, and Dora in rotation. Well, not on rotation, on field. Like, that's 3 interruptions potentially. Like, come on. And also, Regulus equipping Gearframe. No one spoke about how great that was. All people harped on about was Ruin Force being an amazing OTK card. People didn't even, like, talk about the, fact that Ruin Force could insulate OTKs, or the fact that Ruin Force could, potentially be a way to recycle things, and in general has some very neat uses. It's not the reason to play the deck, but it's such an amazing tool for the deck. But the main thing is still Citadel. And Regulus is also a mainstay. These two cards are just nuts. And then Clockwork Knight came out. This is what drew me to the variant, because my main issue with the Gearframe variant was consistency. When I tried it out, I bricked so much because you could only really do the combo with Gearframe when you were playing less of the Infinitrack starter. So you had less starters, and the Gearframe combo required an extender. But now, thanks to Foolish Burial Goods, plus if we have other cards that require discard, such as Redeployment, we can discard that and have the ability to search for any Earth Machine. So I also run 3 Foolish Burial Goods. I've been told I should drop it down to 2. I am against that because the thing is that I want consistency. I want the ability to send Clockwork Knight. And if I already have a Clockwork Knight Engrave, or if I don't have any more that I can send to the graveyard and I draw goods, I have Overdrive that I can send. And since I play 2, I'm not afraid to send it. I think Overdrive should be played at 2 anyways. I think that is something that people should... They need to bump this card back up. It is so good to draw into. You don't ever search it because you don't really have the luxury to most of the time. So you want to draw into it. Because drawing into this thing's amazing. It can force Citadel to come out. And also potentially gain you more resources. Or if you don't like playing Cruncher, you can summon Fortress or Ruin Force. Either one works. It's good. And then I'm finally playing 3 Urgent in the main. Droplet, a card that I need to get for you know, the fully optimized build of this deck. Insane to send this card with, but there's another card that's insane to send it with. I did it in the Dozer Control build a lot, but well, not a lot. I did it sometimes, but now I actually use the second effect a lot, and I also send Clockwork Knights I control the graveyard a lot with Ballista. People usually just shuffle back Ballista so they can, you know, not put monsters back into their main deck. But actually, Ballista has a really good effect that you can use on follow-up turns. Link summoning Ballista on turn 2 is something I find myself doing a lot because it makes my Leeb OTKs even better. Because what happens is, I can Link summon this, set Urgent Schedule or Clockwork Knight, or if I have a heavy forward that's up, I can get rid of that. Or if I just have a, you know, a spell trap that's not doing anything, I can just set it and send it to the grave, 0 out an opponent's monster attack. If I make Leeb, my opponent's not living. They're not living. And then, of course, there's the fact that I've actually not had to use the boosting effect of Leeb because I can get so much damage on board anyways. I've gotten I think I've gotten like over 20, I know I've gotten at least over 20k. Like, the damage this deck can put out in this variant is nuts. It's amazing. And you don't even want to use Leeb's effect to boost. You just want more materials on it so you can run over everything. And then all your other big machines, such as Ruin Force and Citadel, can attack for game. Because it's so easy to get a bunch of other big machines on board. In the previous variant, you know, just regular old Dozer Control. We didn't have fairies, we didn't have, you know, gear frame stuff. We had to weaken our opponent a lot, and we could only really get Leeb on board. This variant, it is laughably easy to get, you know, 10k damage on board. And of course it's even easier to OTK because, you know, Ballista has a really good second effect that people need to use more. And then side deck tech I've been trying out is Dark-Hole. Because I've noticed that there's a lot of effects like that are being used that you gain a monster that locks you out of the game, like Ibli or Ra's Disciple, so you can just out them. But also we can trigger Citadel, Bullet Train, and Ruin Force off of Dark-Hole. So if we draw on a follow-up turn, we have like Citadel and Grave or Ruin Force and Bullet Train on field. We can just blow them up, trigger their effects. Really good. It reminds me of when we played Torrential Tribute back in the day, because it was really good to have a trap card that triggered your Citadel. That also got your Bullet, you know, like you use Anger Knuckle, summon Bullet, Torrential, Bullet, and, you know, Anger Knuckle are going to get destroyed, so that triggers Citadel. So you got basically 2 Raigekis. It was pretty good. Then I'm moving away from Cosmic Cyclone for now. I'm playing the Harpies and 2 Twin Twisters because Mine is gone. Mystic Mine is gone. And I know these 2 are probably going to stay in my side deck for quite some time. And then anti-tier stuff. And this thing is basically anti-everything because of this card, which is basically Zombie World. Like, this deck, it's good. It's really good. The problem is the other stuff is so oppressive and just counters this deck. Okay, Kashtira literally just banishes all your stuff, which is ridiculous. I really hate how much banishing that deck does. And it's face down. That's the problem I have with it. It's all banishing face down. That's ridiculous. So they can mill your deck. They can get rid of any extra deck card that they want or any monster on the field, and you're not going to get it back ever. Really dumb. Then you have, of course, Tier, which can completely rip your board apart while you start your combo. And also, they can disrupt your graveyard because of the Ishizu cards. So those two things just slaughter this deck. The Bestials, the thing that people mostly move away from this deck for, it's definitely just people being way too afraid of them potentially getting a monster that has a very slow effect. The primary reason people play the Bestials are to DD Crow something useful out of the graveyard, and we have literally one good target, and that's Ruin Force. And we can literally recycle it with Overdrive. We don't care about the Bestials at all. But there are good reasons to play the Fairy variant over this. The Fairy variant has, the FTK that you can do. Has a little more room in the extra deck because you don't have to play the Giga and the Platinum Gadget, which is nice. You don't have the brick in the form of Unclassed Bar. This thing's a hard Garnet. You'll still play Box, of course, and you'll still draw it, but at least you can combo with Box. You can't really do that with Unclassed Bar. And then there's the fact that the fairies are just they're ridiculous, and the only reason I'm not playing them is because I don't want to make a 50 card deck. 42 is already pushing it for me. So there are good reasons to play the fairy variant. Bestials are just not the reason to, because you can make them a brick, but then it turns out the opponent can just banish their own monsters to turn them into extenders. So you don't really make them a brick, okay? Trying to deck build to make the Bestials a brick is a fool's errand. Now, it is good to deck build your deck in a way that doesn't die to Bestials. That's a good idea. But trying to turn them into bricks is a foolish thing to do because they can just banish their own guys and play with the Bestials anyways, so they're not bricks. They just go from hand trap to extender. Which again, there's only one good target for Bestials to hit, and that's something we get on like turn 3. So by that point, it's kind of too late. Because we don't even need the Ruin Force by the time we get to that point, because we usually have Citadel and Lieb set up. So we don't really care about the Bestials all that much. So, don't change builds because of Bestials. Change builds because, you don't play as many Garnets. The fairies have insane ability to extend and set things up. And also, there is the fact that there's an FTK that you can play in that variant. I personally don't like the fairy variant, though. I would play like a small fairy package in this deck if I could, but like the fairy variant in general, I'm not a fan of. And then another reason I love this deck, I get to play my favorite card ever. I love Giga X. I love this card so much. This card is my childhood, man. Like, I remember just summoning this thing with that single copy of a Geargia Rampage deck that my grandma got me. Oh, those were the days. There's a reason I made a Geargia deck for a hat format, which I should make it on Omega, and play with some people. It could be fun. I think that's everything I really want to talk about. I look forward to doing more with my YouTube channel now that I've got, this setup, the avatar. That means I can have something when I play, games. Have something like a webcam of sorts, because I don't like just having only the screen there, having something that, like an avatar or webcam is definitely how I prefer to do things. I'll see you all later. Goodbye.